Hello and welcome to this video. As you can already hear, this time it's again in English. That's because I'm with Oladu again.
Hello, Sam.
And now I want to show you something, and that is some games that I was playing. And it would be really nice to get some feedback from Oladu, what I could do better next time. Was it this one? Or one sec, I have to check because I have already deleted this one on my hard drive. Or I have deleted most of my hard drive because I don't have a lot of space left. So I have to see whether the game I was talking about is around here. Ah, yeah, it's this one. I can go back a little bit.
Good old HD version.
Sorry?
Good old HD version.
Yeah, good old HD version because I was playing with Olivier, and Olivier, A, he only has HD version, and B, his PC is so slow it cannot handle definitive edition. So we are usually playing on HD version. And yeah, so this is basically me playing as the Portuguese, as you can see, with some organ cans. And this is a Turk player. And at this point, we are still leading pretty good. We also won this game later on because the green player, he tried some pushing and it didn't work. And he was just like, it doesn't work, shit. I quit, and he was out of the game. But I tried to do some pushing on this side. Everything looking, more or less decent. But I got a problem, and that is that on this side of the map, and you can see there's only a very small channel on this side to get through. It's not like a big way where I could push. It's like a tunnel where we have to go through first. On this part, I was stupid enough to start a tower and cannon bombard cannon fight. And I was Portuguese, so I also had some decent bomber towers, and I had my organ guns and my bombard cannons. But sorry?
Nice. I like bomber towers.
But yeah, thank you. The other guy, as I said, was Turks. And the problem was with the extra range on the bomber towers of the Turks, it really was a pain to try to push on that side. And I thought about using Rams, but the problem is that he has his bombard cannons stationed there, so I don't think Rams would have helped a lot. And when I thought, okay, let's go traps and let's outrange his bombard cannons with some traps. And I knew that I had the better eco because I was score leading. I was at 13,800. He was at 8,000. So I knew that my eco must be much better at this point. Because up until now, most of the points were basically eco points, and I was in Castle Age much sooner. So I already knew that I had more villagers and more eco and more trade and so on going on. So I thought, yeah, just let's throw out some trebuchets here and see whether it's working. And yeah, these are the first 3 traps that are basically coming out now. And the first bomber towers are being placed. I also made some Praetorias because I thought, stone from Praetorias is probably more efficient than buying stone all the time.
Yes.
And I think in total I got like 4 Praetorias with 300 pop. I don't know. Is 4 Praetorias still decent, or do you think 3 would have done the job as well?
Hard to say because 300 population, not usual, but
Okay.
like I think you can place in 5 Victoria and still have decent amount of population space.
Okay. So. Yeah, and now he's building his bomber towers. I'm building my bomber towers. He already has 3 cannons that are sitting around here. Yeah, and as you can see, this is starting to be quite in his favor because bombard towers plus cannons. I think there's not a better civ than Turks for this kind of strategy. I mean, Portuguese are also good with arquebus, with their arquebus cannons. But I guess the extra range on the cannons plus the extra range on the towers especially was pretty devastating. I mean, with bombard cannons I could deal somehow, but the towers that could outrange my bombard cannons, that was pretty hard actually. So sorry, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to say that yeah, Turks is like one of the best option, and also Britons because of werewolf trebuchets, I think. Well, and I said that you have onager, so you can cut. You can cut other way, for example, and try to push here. Not in this.
Where would you have cut now? So like to the left, like I'm doing now, or somewhere else?
I believe it's better to cut in the middle.
Okay.
Of the map.
Yeah, also thought at some point, because the green player was much worse than the yellow player. Probably, this is my conclusion that I drew from the game, probably it would have been better to make like 5 or 6 layers of stone walls and put some gates in, put some bomber towers in, and leave this side and just put some bombard cannons and traps as defensive option. And I think if I had to play it again, I would probably just like block this side, you know, and then push in the middle, cut the trees in the middle, and attack the green player because he was much worse than that. And then I could also take some. I don't know what Olivier was playing, but I think he was Vietnamese. It would be sensible to put some horse archers, for instance, and put them in between of them so that we can kill the trade. And when the Turk player doesn't have any gold, it usually is pretty bad for him because he only has spearman, he only has normal skirmisher, and the only good trash option that he has is the hussar. So that's what I would have done next time.
Yeah, so you can't push here, right? Kinda, it's almost impossible. So you can, with onager cut your way to the middle and maybe switch to cheap cavaliers because you're Portuguese, you have cheap cavaliers, and just spread them all over his trade and economy, and put some bombard cannons.
Okay. Yeah, my problem was that I did not make a stone wall at all later, and as you can see later on, there will be several raids because the sorry. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I listen. No.
The problem was that he tried several raids with hussars, as you can see now, for instance, and he destroyed a lot of economy. It was not terrible, but pretty annoying. And I definitely should have made some walls here so that he cannot raid me so easily. And also, these Huskals have been pretty annoying in between, but when I made some arquebuses, hand cannoneers later on, and some more organ guns, and that was not the main problem. The main problem basically was that I pretty much concentrated on this side, and yeah, I think if you give it another like 10 or 12 minutes, he had like 20 towers up there, and as soon as the Turk has got 20 towers, it's senseless to try to push on that side. Yeah. But yeah, let's go through this. Yeah, and you can see it's really fighting on that side all the time. It's trying to slow push from both sides.
What about red player?
Red player was pretty slow and also was playing Vietnamese. And Olivier has a very, I call it interesting play style. He plays Vietnamese, but he never makes archery ranges, just light cav and elephants. And in one game, we were playing versus the Magyars. And I said to him, stay on your side and make some outposts and make some castles. What does he do? He comes to my side and builds a castle on my side, but in the way where I wanted to fight, so it was blocking me off. And when the Magyar came with halberdiers, and what did he do? He had no archery range, but he had 8 stables, and he was sending masses of light cav to counter the halberdiers. So that's basically his playstyle. So Olivier is, I think, like when I first met him, he was like 850 elo in HD version. So he's really a super noob at that point. But we've taught him some skills. I've also got a friend who is 1750 on HD version. So he's also really good, and he taught him some things. But Olivier sometimes makes some stuff that is, it makes me personally a little bit angry sometimes. But for the viewers, it's probably pretty entertaining, especially when I get mad because the last game I got really angry with him. I told him to vault something in the middle of a map, and I pointed it again as I saw it was still open. And said to him, I told you 5 times to wall that, why didn't you wall that? And he was like, yeah, I told you I haven't walled that. And Yeah, it's pretty funny sometimes with him and with communication. And sometimes he blocks the way, like you can just see here. But he does that pretty often actually. Now he's blocking the way with his elephants. And I had a lot of games where I was losing many units because he's blocking the way, and I cannot do anything about that.
I hate Black Forest for this because so tight here.
Now we've got
And
Rascals on that side. I probably should have protected the middle better, I guess.
okay, now I deleted this. Yeah, I just like to have uh well, more options where you can fight, not one option, because
Mm.
one pass and it's his turks really hard to
Okay, so you would, would
push.
probably make some stables now, as you've said, to make some cavaliers, cut the trees in the middle, and then make some cavalier push. But you also probably would have fought around here, around here, I guess, so that the hussars cannot break through.
Yeah, just on the back,
Just on the back
where you
side, okay,
just one stone wall and gate. Yeah.
and the gate, okay. But just one layer of wall, and it's okay, you would say.
On the one layer, no, yeah. If you have so many bomber towers, yeah, it should
Okay.
be enough.
Let's go a little bit later in this game. Yeah, as you can see, I also make some pretty senseless bomber towers because, like these, for instance, we never have shot one single bullet in the game because no enemy came at this side. But I thought, yeah, let's better make some bomber towers on Olivier's side so that he's also protected. Because
Yeah,
we had many games where we lost because his side got pushed. And now the green guy is pushing in the middle and he's got some traps and yeah. So in this situation, I probably thought, let's make some onagers to kill this bunch of hand cannoneers. I think I made some onagers later on. Not completely sure, but I think I made some.
On Black Forest, you should you have a good siege, so you should have at least like a couple of siege units. No, siege building, like siege, yeah, on his side.
Now seeing that, it's also pretty dumb to not make a stone wall here. I think next time if I was playing this, I would make a stone wall so that he cannot cut through so easily.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny because later in the game, the Goth player, he thought, oh, Huskarls didn't do the trick. So at one point he stopped making Huskarls, and at one point he only made bombard cannons and bombard hand cannoneers and bombard cannons. So he basically played the Goths like the Turks later on in the game.
Yeah. I believe cavaliers or elephants should kill it. Maybe
Okay.
this amount of. Yes.
Oh, I'm getting pretty angry here. 14, 14, 14, and then saying him 2 versus 1 on this side. And now he's making new elephants, but he could send the ones that he already got on this side. And I'm sending halberdiers. That's pretty dumb, actually, to send halberdiers versus hand cannoneers. But it's a noob game, and I just lost my Victoria. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why you have Victoria forward. You should put it on the back.
Yeah.
Next time.
It actually would have been awesome to get some Imperial skirmishers from the Vietnamese player. I think that would also be really cool versus hand cannoneers, yeah. Yeah, and he's sending in the elephants. That's not very helpful. And I need a new lumber camp, yeah. Okay, but you would say just recap that, make some cavaliers, cut the trees in the middle, rate the economy with some cavaliers.
Yeah, just so you have middle control. You put production buildings here, like all new stables, all new siege, bomber cannons in the middle. You control here, and then so yeah, because if Turkish player just defend in one spot, it's good for him. But if you have like multiply spots where you can rate him. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly what I told you about the Turkish player. He was pushing with his towers here. And this is the point where I realized, okay, this side is basically pretty fucked, or there's no chance to push this. I think if I would have just closed this and destroyed the green player, it would have been so much better. Because I think at some point, after making so many bomber towers, the Turkish player, he can only buy them. He can only buy the stone. He doesn't have Victoria. I think if I had just destroyed the trade, he could not have gone on with bomber towers. And yeah, just some stone walls here. Sorry?
He can still buy for a long time stone with trade.
Okay. Yeah, but if I destroy the trade, basically he doesn't have a chance to make more towers, I thought.
Yeah, if you destroy trade, yeah.
Okay. The green player later abandoned, as I said. This went really annoying, and in the middle I put some hand cannoneers later on, and I made some slow pushing with towers. But the problem is that the green player, he basically sent in all his resources, and he basically just abandoned the game because he decided, I don't have any resources anymore, so let's stop this.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a noob game. Just wanted to get some feedback on that. And if you want to, we can make 1 or 2 more games. That's okay with you? Because I had some other games where I had some situations where I was not quite sure what to do. Oh, do you also know this game? This is Stronghold Crusader. Do you know that?
I played only Stronghold on original campaigns.
Okay. But you know the game series, basically?
Yeah, I know. Just Stronghold. Yeah, I know. It's
not as competitive as Age of Empires, but it's pretty funny with the castle building because you can make really insane, awesome big castles, which you cannot do with Age of Empires. And it's always funny because if you click on people, they are saying something like, "Oh, taxes are very high, my lordship. Can you please lower taxes?" Something like that. So it's pretty funny. Was it this one? I'm not quite sure. I will have a look at it. Okay, this was... Okay, here I'm playing as the Slavs, I think. Okay, this was a very simple game, and...
Some archers.
This was really insane game because this was all will fighting.
For the boars.
It was basically an all-in thing of the enemy because his 2 allies basically jumped out, so it was 3 versus 1. And then he thought like, yeah, you know what, I've already lost this, but let's go all in. And it was really some dirty will fighting that we did there. I think I had one with a friend of mine, but I'm not sure which number it is. But it must be one of his playing in TeamSpeak games. Was it this one?
Yeah, so HD version is still alive, right?
It is alive, but you tend to see the same faces again and again. Okay, this one was also interesting because I was playing Mongols, my ally was playing Britons, and on his side it was very oppressive. The green one was pushing a lot, but I managed to push on this side. And yeah, I went with Mongols and did scorpions, as you can see, heavy scorpions, because I had a lot of wood lying around and some food lying around. And I made some scorpions, as you can see, and I made some champions to kill the halberdiers and so on. And yeah, but actually not too much to analyze here, I think. Okay, this was also a will fighting game. We had the problem that the enemy had a sneak here. He sneaked in some guys and he did some goth rushing, as you can see. Yeah, and it was basically just fighting this guy here off. It was pretty annoying because usually when we play this kind of game, we like to boom and then build up an army and attack. And yeah, taking the game like that and making some rushes here. That's exactly not the kind of game that we like to play. But sometimes we have some players that we meet on Black Forest and we make this game into a game that we actually don't want to play in that style.
Yeah, I was that player that trying to make not boom games, trying to sneak and doing some shit.
Okay, and yeah, I was playing Incas as you could see, and then I made a big army. Once we had trade, we made a big army of Arbalest and Eagle Warrior. Would you say that in general it's a very good idea to disrupt your enemy when you know the enemy likes to boom, to sneak in some villagers and make some sneaky archery ranges or some sneaky barracks and to attack there? Or
I believe you can sneak, and also what you can make.
Sorry, hello?
You can vault him off. I want to say you can sneak between two enemies, for example, right?
And isolate one by with stone wall or something like that?
Yeah, make walls between them, so his pocket can't help his flank, and you can double him, right? Later. And you will destroy him, like defeat him.
What I sometimes do is sneak in sometimes two villagers.
Try.
Sorry, you first?
Yeah, just to say that I just tried, and sometimes it works very well.
Okay. Sometimes what I do is sneaking in two villagers, and when I make two wooden palisades in Dark Age, that are like 8 to 10 tiles away, and when I maybe make a second row, and then once I'm in Feudal Age, I make like 2 or 3 layers of stone wall. Because if I do that, he needs to ram down all the stone walls and we cannot trade for a very long time. So sometimes I also do that, not to attack or isolate one enemy and kill him off with that, but just to destroy a trade for a long time, because I found that the strategy usually costs me like 150, maybe 200, 300 stone. But it cuts off their trade for a very long time, so that we can only go for trade in late Imperial Age. And I found that pretty helpful. And also, when you do that, you also have the option of always going 2 versus 1 on one side. So I sometimes also do that, but was not sure whether it's a really professional thing that professionals would also do. But it's used to work pretty well because, as I said, when we have no trade and you have trade, you always have the gold advantage. Oh, this one is, I was playing as the Hans, as you can see. And I had some problems on the left side later on, and that is that there was a Goth player. Oh no, it's that game. I wasn't playing the Hans, I was playing the
Magyars.
The Magyars, yes. And I had the problem that I was playing with a Persian player, and he was just spamming elephants, and I tried to fight that off with some halberdiers, but I think the only thing I could have done in this situation is actually going for a lot of monks, like making some six monasteries or something like that, and just putting out monks, because even the strong Magyar Cav archers, they weren't a lot of help here. And as you can see, he completely overrun me with his elephants. So I for myself, I just thought I can only do monks next time, because it's really impossible to kill these Persian elephants just with brute force. They are so strong, they have 600 life points, and they're shooting everything down. It was really incredible, this game.
Yeah, only monks, yeah. 5 monasteries and somehow micro.
Yeah, I still thought I could maybe do this, maybe solve this with halberdiers, but it was impossible, basically. But usually you would say elephants are not a good, are not a valid tactic with Persians, because later on in the other game where We were on Nomad. You said that the Persian elephants are not useful.
Well, I like Persian.
Hello?
But
Hello?
it's really you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah.
So I try to make elephants, but it's not really useful. Yeah, they getting converted, but well, they do decent job in some situations. So if you just make one elephant and he don't have monks, then yeah, just can kill 3 rams under your castle. So they're good at protection in your castle, and sometimes if you have some light calves, you can kill monks, and then elephant will do other job. So very situational unit
Okay.
overall.
But when the enemy doesn't have any monks like I do, yeah, as you can see, just spamming elephants would also work. But you would probably, for protection's sake, you would probably have made like 5 monasteries or something, because he didn't show me that he was making elephants. Just at some point, he cut the trees, and then it was like, boom, 30 elephants right in my base. And it was like, yeah, how do you fight that? Sucker, take my elephants. So in this game, when we were booming and you know that a Persian is on the other side, how would you have prepared for his push?
Well, you should know that Persians trying to go elephants on Black Forest, so maybe, well, maybe if you had some halberdiers already, maybe should be fine. But
Okay.
I don't know if he just show 50 elephants in one time. It's really hard.
Okay.
Maybe
So
only
you probably would have made some monks before, like having 10 monks or so prepared, I guess.
Just not monks before. Just have monasteries at least. So yeah, already
Okay.
have monasteries. Yeah, maybe couple of monks. I always like to have 3 monks. Whatever game, just to heal and crop relics.
Okay, but when you have only 3 monks and then all of a sudden there are 30 elephants in your base, what would you have done in that situation? Because I think I already had some halberdiers, but as I said, it really wasn't enough. I probably would have needed like 100 or so to fight this off.
Yeah, just go back, make new production building, and try to mass some monks, and then.
Okay.
And you need monks and help at the same time, I believe, to deal
And
with this.
how many monasteries would you have made when you know there's a Persian player on the other side?
Like 5.
Okay, 5 monasteries. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because in HD version, I don't know whether they've changed that in Definitive Edition, but in HD version, if you spam like 30 elephants, it can be so crazy. I know on a higher game level, like your game level, this is not a valid strategy anymore because it just doesn't work anymore. But in the noob games, if you come with 30 elephants, it's like immediate GG.
Maybe.
Okay, let's have a look at this game. We still have got like 10 minutes, or I have still like 10 minutes. Yeah. The problem is that Oladu had to do some streaming, and yeah, that's because that's why I don't have that's why we don't have so much time today. What was this again? So I didn't fully prepare for this. I just got some things that I wanted to show you, but I'm sometimes a little bit unsure which video that is. Do you know this guy? This is Botkin Arrow. Do you know him?
I think no.
You know him? Okay, because he's a German YouTuber. He has like almost 9,000 subscribers, and he makes some tutorials and so on. And his elo is 1700, I think, something about that. But I don't think he does play tournaments.
German.
He's German, yes.
Okay.
But you don't know him? Do you know Django and Monkey Boy?
Yeah, I think Django, I know.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah.
Django, he's from Baden-Württemberg. That's in South Germany. But his ancestors are from Turkey. Turkey, I think. This is actually an interesting game that we had with Botkin Arrow, but the problem is that the casting was pretty much fucked up. So it's like a picture show. It's like a still frame show, and it's not like a video that you could see. But this one was actually pretty decent. We made some stone walls here later on. And I was playing as Bohemians. He was also playing as Bohemians, and my friend was playing as Mongols. And yeah, we had some fighting on here. The problem is with Botkin Arrow that he booms much faster than we do. And there is a sweet spot where he already has an army and we don't have an army, so he can rush us. But there are two options that we can win versus him. Either we do extreme feudal age aggression, like doing some Persian douching with a TC, or we managed to get a little bit more time by walling up. And when we get enough time to make our own army and to fight him, because if we get enough time to do that, we also win usually. There's just a sweet spot in between where he can make his army and destroy us completely, or he can take out one pretty fast, and then it's turning into 1 versus 1. So it's pretty interesting. It can go both ways if we fight 2 versus 1 with him.
I know. I tried this with some players, so I like this challenge: 1 versus 2, or maybe even versus 3 sometimes.
Okay. Would you like to do that? Because if you want to, I have some friends that are also on my elo level. Do you think it's possible for 2 people of my elo level to win versus you, or do you think it would take 3?
1 versus 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can try it. I'm not sure now because 1 versus 2, if it's like 1k elo, should be fine.
Okay.
It should be interesting. Well, it depends what map we play. Open map or closed map? Because I think on open map you have more. 2 guys have more chance to win.
So you think if you're playing Arabia, for instance, and I'm doing archers with Mayans, and my friend is doing a Persian TC on your side, you think that's probably more probable for us to win than a game on Mishi where both sides can boom and you can...
for example, on Arena, I think it will be easier for me. But I'm not sure. We can try it later. It will be interesting. I like these challenges. Like,
okay, that's awesome because Botkin, he is a little bit worse than you. He's like 200 elo lower than you. But I think on a certain level it's not that much off. Or would you say you would never lose versus a 1700? Because I asked a 1700 player and he said that if he was fighting someone with elo 1900, he would win 2 or 3 games out of 10 or 20. So he said there is a chance. It's just very unlikely to win.
No, he can win me, I will say. 200 points is not a lot. Like 300, 300. So I can still lose to 1700 players, but not like 1600 maybe. My 1 game from 100, like only. I believe so. 300 I can lose or win 300 plus or minus yellow players, I will say. Something like that.
Okay, I'm just trying to find another game which is good. I could actually go through my videos. 1 sec, I still have some stuff recorded that doesn't have the latency that we would have. And I put out the sound at first. This is all AI games, I think, with El Matador. Okay, I did some douching here. Was playing as the humans in the first video. And I made a feudal age TC. But VI is dumb, so I don't think we have to analyze that. It's really some stupid strategies here. Okay, there's another one with Olivier. Okay, with the Indians, I think. Yeah, okay. This was a little bit shitty on this side because I lost there, but I then managed to make some skirmishers, protect this side with skirmishers, and our ally was luckily pushing on this side around here. So this actually went quite well, but I lost this side. 1 sec, I had some castles around here. And he came in with Helbediers, and yeah, he killed all my elephant archers. Botkin Arrow, he actually made a video about the best and the worst special units, and he said that elephant archers are overall pretty bad. Do you also think that elephant archers are pretty bad, or do you think they have a place and are actually decent?
Well, I think they're pretty bad because they can very low range have and they're dying to onagers. For example, pretty bad. So I can't agree.
What I like about now he's coming with elephant archers as well. What I like about them is if you're playing versus Britons, for instance, we have like 3+9 pierce armor, so they're like Huskals, basically, and they are good.
If you have like this player 40 elephant archers, you still just make some onagers and just kill with onagers. Yeah, not archers. So,
okay.
Not sure.
Yeah, but usually when I play versus Britons and we go for infantry or for archers, they're pretty good in some situations. And it's pretty funny because on the 1400, 1500 elo level in HD version, that would be like 800 or 900 elo in Definitive Edition. It's pretty funny because this kind of player, we usually don't have an answer to elephant archers. It's really like you put in 50 elephant archers and they are like, oh shit, what am I doing now? And they are sending in hordes of halberdiers to try to fight them, or archers or whatever. And yeah, it's pretty funny to see that at that range because they just cannot answer that. Okay, but this one's not that interesting. Let's have a look at that. Oh, here I was playing Ethiopians. That's also an interesting one because we were fighting versus Goths and Indians. And I'm Ethiopians here, and I have my, what's it called again? My torsion engines, onagers. And he's coming with a lot of Huskals, and I'm fighting that off with Shotel warriors. And actually, it's pretty good looking so far. We also won this game, but the problem is that Olivier didn't help a lot, and so I had to fight on two sides. And if I just had to concentrate on one side, I probably could have pushed there. But yeah, I'm sending in Shotel warriors, as you can see now, and was a little bit at a loss, not knowing how to push this, because it turned into a pretty defensive thing here. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm... Sorry?
Yeah. If you are making a new pass with siege onager, yeah, try to wall behind. So make gate behind. So if you lose this fight, and just you still have stone walls.
Yeah.
So yeah, just make stone walls behind.
What do you think about just making stone walls on this side? Because I also have a lot of castles here, and then just taking all my military and push on the right side, or what would have been your plan in this situation here?
Well, maybe you could just help here with just having only siege here. So siege. So you could help him with only siege onagers. It will be enough, I believe.
Okay.
So just place if you have good siege, right? Again, if he opens, just place some siege workshops on his side and just do for siege.
Okay. I later made 3 siege workshops, I think. But I also had to make archers because Olivier wasn't making a lot of units in general. And yeah, the problem is, as you can see, he's at 8,000 points here. And it's jumping back and forth because we are both at 12,000. And I really had to balance the game. That's very often with Olivier because, as I said, he's not a very good player. The thing with Olivier is then that I have to balance on both sides because, he either does not make an army fast enough, usually just makes walls, which is good on its own, but not enough, of course. And the problem is that he will not defend sufficiently, so I usually have to split on 2 sides. And yeah, sometimes when I play with Olivier, we make a technique where he walls one side extremely, like 10 or 12 layers of stone, so that we can push one side. because, as I said, if it's going to be a two-side war, it's a little bit difficult because, as you can see, he has no army now. And when he makes army, sometimes, as I already told you, he's sending in lots of light cav into halberdiers and stuff like that. So it's pretty weird. He's the only Vietnamese player. He's often picking the Vietnamese. He's the only Vietnamese player that I know that doesn't make archery ranges.
Yeah, you just need to help him with your siege, and maybe it will be fine. So...
Okay, this was a nice shot, I think. One sec. Would you also have taken Shotel Warriors to counter Huskarls as Ethiopian, or do you think there's another way? Because I also had some nice Onager shots where I shot some of his Shotel Warriors, of his Huskarls, sorry.
Yeah, you can counter Ghost with Siege Onager, I believe.
But do you think that the Shotel Warrior is a good option versus Huskarl, or do you think? Because he's pretty expensive. I think it's like 35 gold, and he wasn't that bad, but I also could have made two-handed swordsmen. Do you think two-handed swordsmen would have been better, or Shotel Warriors? Because my reasoning was that the Shotel Warrior is also faster, and the Huskal is very good at raiding, and I also take these Shotel Warriors now and kill these Huskals.
Yeah, I like Shotel Warriors more. I think they're just faster and faster producing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have gold, if you don't have problems with gold, then Shotel Warriors, yeah.
Okay, now we're going in and cleaning this up. Yeah, but it's noob game, as you can see. I think if I was just fighting red or just fighting yellow, it would have been very easy. But with two-side wars, it's pretty funny because we usually try to balance that out. It's usually like I'm around 1600 elo in HD version, sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit higher. And we're taking two guys usually that are like 1400 players. So in a 1 versus 1, I would win like 9 out of 10 games. And we're trying to balance this with Olivier so that it's still fair. And the funny thing is that it is actually fair because half of these games we are losing. And it's like a special competition to outbalance basically that Olivier is pretty noob in this game. So I always like these games because they are taking a special toll on me. What was this again?
I had this friend that kind of lower than me on like 500 points and just playing.
Yeah, although you're 1900 player, so he's also still decent. It's not like Olivier who sends in Lightcav into Halberdiers, I guess.
Yeah, but still was interesting games.
This was with the Teutons. Okay, I'm just looking for another game, and then I think we can make a cut here because yeah, it's going a little bit late. What was this again? Okay, a Spanish.
Elite Conquistadors.
Okay, this is where the green one soon went out. Do you think this is a decent military composition that you've just seen? Paladins plus Conquistador, or do you think there's something lacking in there?
Yeah, I think it's best that the Spanish have maybe some missionaries to heal, but then it's really, really powerful. Paladins, missionaries, conquistadors, and bomber cannons that shoot.
Yeah, and I tried to fight these Mamelukes with Conquistadors. Do you think that's a good counter, or do you think that's not a good idea? Because Paladins, quite obviously, they die pretty hard versus Mamelukes.
Yeah, but Conquistadors have way more range. 6 versus 3. Oh, Mamelukes only have 3.
Yeah.
So, well, not sure. Well, Mamelukes plus Siege Onager is really hard to stop. It's one of the best combos in the game.
So, would you have preferred to play Saracens then in this matchup?
Yeah, I believe, yeah.
Okay.
And in the E version, Saracens now have unique technologies that makes them their siege even more powerful.
Mm.
They have more bonus with to onagers and trebuchets. So
Okay, I'm now sending my skirmishers versus the elephants because I thought, yeah, it's archers. Let's do it like that.
1 million elephant archer.
Yeah, and now the other player is already abandoned and we just made some fighting here on this. Do you think it's sensible to send conquistadors versus elephant archers?
Well, I think still, yes, they must still. Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. I think they do enough damage still, but it's hard to say. Yeah, if you have something in front of conquistadors, it should be fine.
Okay, like some halberdiers, probably Spanish or some skirmishers.
Or paladins, if you have.
Okay, this was Hans, and I was pushing on this side with some Rams later on because I thought Hans do not have a great siege, but we have at least siege Ram. So I think
Yes.
siege Ram is the most valid option for Hans.
Yes.
We did some pushing here. I had some problems in the middle. If I can show you one sec. Oops, I go back. Yeah, I had some castles here and some back and forth because it was 3 versus 1 at some point in the game. But I thought, yeah, let's push with some cavaliers and some archers, and I put in some siege rams to kill the buildings, destroy the buildings and destroy the castles. And now some cavaliers are coming in.
Yeah, paladins also nice.
Yeah, I think in general, Hassa, Cav Archer, Siege Ram, and Paladin are the best options that Hans have. All 4 for raiding, even Tarkans are also good.
Yeah, the Tarkans also really good. They don't die versus range units.
Mm.
Sometimes they can be even more powerful than paladins.
Mm.
They're really versus range units.
It's pretty funny actually because I never pick Hans. They're a Civ that I would never pick, even not on open maps, or I know that they are strong. But yeah, I like 20% of the time when I go on random, it gives me the Hans. It's like really crazy, always giving me Hans very often. But I have a win rate of over 80% with Hans, and I never pick them. But when I pick them or when I get them, I usually win the game.
Yeah, they're just underrated because you never house it. Yeah.
The problem is that you can also not build houses because sometimes I want to make a house wall, but I cannot do that.
Yeah.
It would be funny to have some like fake houses with Hans. Like, oh, I need a wall. Let's make some fake houses with the Hans. But they cost only half the normal price. Something like that. It would be a little bit. It would be an interesting option.
Yeah, it will be interesting, really.
This was me as Vikings, and one player pretty soon jumped out, so I made a troll army of just berserks. But it was also pretty funny because I ran with them through the whole town and destroyed everything. But that was a little extremely noobsy game. I don't think there's much to analyze there. Okay, this is our game. This is us as the Ethiopians here. This is, I think, the next one. We're playing as Saracens, yes. I still haven't uploaded this. It's such a long queue and my internet connection is so slow. It's very hard to upload all that stuff. This is on... here we're playing some resonance. Sorry?
Yeah, I just said that I only have bad PC. My internet connection is really good, but my PC, well, not really good. Okay.
Yeah, in this game we are fighting with some resonance bots, and actually the beginning was looking pretty decent, I think. I did some archer rushing and tower rushing here, and it went pretty well at some point. The problem is just the other resonance bot he went to Castle Age, and when he sent in knights, and of course with Feudal Age archers, I couldn't do much against knights. So that was a little bit difficult there. What kind of elo do you think does the resonance spot play? Because I think we are like 1700 elo in HD version.
Yeah, I can't remember. I just played HD 4 years ago last time.
Okay, but we're pretty strong, and yeah, as you can see now, I made some onagers there.
Yeah.
I think the resonance spot is still a bit better than Extreme AI in HD in Definitive Edition.
Yeah, maybe.
So
but
I think
that. So the version bot is not cheating, but this one is a bit cheating.
This one's cheating. Yes, this one is cheating resources. It's cheating like 20 or 30. I think it's even almost 40% of resources. So it's sending in much more than it usually could with the economy that it has. But it's pretty strong. I think in Definitive Edition, it's probably around elo 1100, 1200. And I would say the normal Extreme AI is probably at 1000. So I would say with resource cheating, it's probably a lot better than the normal Extreme AI.
Yeah, but there is Barbarian AI that even stronger.
Okay. How good would you say is that one?
I can't remember. I believe it was like 6000 on the version. So
Okay.
really decent.
So, but this only exists in Definitive Edition, or?
No. It was on HD edition on Wooble also.
Okay.
I don't know how it's for now.
So you would say it's probably even pretty hard for you to beat that one?
Well, maybe now not hard, but it's decent.
But two of them would probably have a good chance versus you.
Well, I'm not sure because I was like 1700 on the version like 2 years ago, and it was. I feel like it was 1600, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but now maybe it's way easier.
I just have 3 more videos, so I'm just skipping through it to see if there's something that ought to be discussed. Okay, this was a little bit disappointing, this game, because we are playing with a guy whose elo was 1655, and he played like 1450. Yeah, so this was much less of a fight than we expected. This one was interesting because we were fighting one guy. He had 1900 elo, so a really good player. Also, an HD version 1900 is pretty decent. I would say this guy is probably around 1400 in Definitive Edition, at least. And he was fighting with Kennel, a Spanish with Cannon Galleons. And we tried to find a way to get over there. But his buddy, he basically killed 2 of our guys with Tarkin Rush as Huns. And it was versus the king game where you have to save your king, and he killed the kings of our friends, and it was pretty disorganized. I think if we had some strategy planned together, we actually could have made this. But yeah, you can see he's just destroying the castle, now destroying the king, and now killing the king, and yeah, this was pretty messy. We had this kind of game, or I had this kind of game already 3 times, where we are basically just defending there and doing some rushes in between. I think with some coordination we could have won this, but yeah, I just jumped out of this after 2 of our guys fell because it was so uncoordinated, and someone put his king down here in a tower and he destroyed the tower. It was pretty funny. Let's get out of this one and have a look at the second last one. This was also pretty much a fight on this side. And yeah, this was, for instance, pretty bad. I think this gate, because I had a lot of blockages at these castles because of this gate here. So I think I should have made this gate in another way so that my units can pass through. I think that was one of the problems. And the problems was I was fighting Magyars, and we had trebuchets with more range, and I was Byzantine, and it was pretty hard and slow to push on this side. But let's just jump through this video. As you can see now, he's fighting my Arbalest with his Paladins, so I'm taking my Arbalest back. How would you have pushed on this side as Byzantines versus Magyars?
Well, maybe just well, you have cataphracts, right?
Yeah.
Cataphracts plus bombard cannons, maybe.
Okay.
You need bombard cannons.
It's really funny, but you say that, and I go up, and then in the image there are some cataphracts and bombard cannons already standing there.
Yeah.
So you would have made an army full of cataphracts?
Yeah, I believe they can kill like trade decent versus paladins.
Because you have splash damage.
Yes.
Okay, and this gate is probably not pretty good because, as I said, I made some blockages here. What do you think about the gate here and the castle? So I placed them.
Well, I think it should be fine. Oh, maybe only one tile gate is working, not two, because castle blocking another tile. So gate only have 2 tiles that you can pass, but now only one. Yeah.
Okay, would you have sent in some big masses of skirmishers too? Because I was sending a lot of Imperial skirmishers because my buddy was Vietnamese. And yeah, he sent in some.
Well, I hate skirmishers here because onagers can kill them easily. Well, you need to somehow kill his onagers then with your bombard cannons. Well,
Onager coming in. That's not good for my Arbalest.
but now they will die, maybe.
I think I drew them back, but I'm not quite sure if I did that. Oh, no, I didn't. That's not good. I'm losing them all.
Black Forest, on Black Forest, you need to play with gold units. You have trade, you need to play with strong gold units, not skirmishers. Like Siege and some gold units. Yeah, elephants, why not? Paladins.
This was funny. He was walling just off, as you could see in the last one. What do you think about? What do you think about him placing all these buildings in the way here? Do you think it's a good idea? Because
yeah, sometimes it's a good idea. You have your production forward. Yeah.
The thing is, he also placed the castle later on, but that castle went down pretty quickly, of course, because we came with trebuchets. Let's jump to that point. When does he build that castle? Okay, at this point the green one is already out there. But yet
he has so many resources.
Yeah, it's really insane here with all the trade and all the woodcutters and so on.
In this situation, you can just like delete your skirms and make more cataphracts. Just more.
Although the skirms are not even that bad. They are killing the trade units. Well, so it's not that bad actually. Yeah. But I think I could have deleted some lumberjacks and mix a trash army as shield and some cataphracts maybe. But let's have a look at his castle. He also made a castle. I just want to show you that castle to get an opinion about that. When did he place his castle? He did place a castle, but I don't know anymore when he did that. Must be somewhere around here. Ah, okay. Here it is. Here it is. So, yeah. The problem about this castle is just that we couldn't hold it, but it wasn't that dump actually. But he also didn't make any skirmishers. I think with some more skirmishers from him, maybe we could have killed the war wagons pretty easily.
You have enough bomber cannons to kill trebuchets for now, but you just only need more units. Yeah, maybe versus war buckets.
But do you think the castle overall is a good idea in that place? Or
Yes.
also, as Vietnamese, he could have made cannon towers, I think. Do Vietnamese have cannon towers? I'm not quite sure.
Cannon. Wait. Cannons?
I think Vietnamese have bomber cannons and cannon towers.
Cannon towers? No, Vietnamese. Not sure. Byzantines have. That's
Byzantines do have cannon towers. I think Vietnamese do have two, because I'm a little bit confused right now.
Yeah, sorry, I can't remember now this Vietnamese.
Okay. Do you think it would have been better to make 6 bomber towers instead of 1 castle there?
Yeah. Yes. I like bombard cannon. They can like how to say it. With bombard cannons, you can have more place. You can deny more ground. 1 castle is only 1 castle.
Yeah, and he took out the traps and it was lost. And now there's the last video that I recorded. It's again with Olivier. Let's have a quick through.
Oh, now Olivier is 20 plus.
It's 20 what?
12 plus. 1200 plus.
That's because I was smurfing myself a bit. I was losing 150 elo points versus him. Because the problem is, once you have surpassed 1600 elo, people are like, yeah, you're not noob, you're a pro player, and they throw you out of noob lobbies. We just want to play with you if you're surpassed that. So I always have to be around 1550 or something like that, so that people don't say, no, we don't play with you anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was on HD version, like on all of the elo. Like I was 1600s and 1700s, then I dropped to even I believe 1400 I dropped.
Okay.
And then I started to grow up, like 17, 18, 19, 2K finally. I wanted to play with good players, 2K plus, and I see Tato in some lobbies.
Okay.
Like Tato playing versus some 2K2 guys. I wanted to become 2K2 also to play with him. That's fun.
Have you played a lot of games with Tato or not so many?
We played with Tato sometimes. So I remember one game that I make like 20 cataphracts on some map that have some shallows, and he just blows them with heavy demo ships.
But would you say Tato was already at his skill level that he's now back then, or do you think Tato was also a lot worse than he is now?
Yeah, he was so good on his G version, but not as good as other pro players.
Okay. But when you said you also have dropped to 1400, so you wouldn't say you have started as a pro. It was also a very long way and learning and.
Well, I played like half my years. I played without hotkeys, only with mouse. So
okay,
when I switched to hotkeys, yeah, it helped me.
So you would say for every beginner that is trying to become better at Age of Empires, that hotkeys is one of the most important things to learn?
Yeah. Hotkeys and then control groups also.
Okay. And
so
how much?
Yeah, you don't need to use all your hotkeys at the start. You just need to first TC hotkey, house, idle, then add. Every week you can add like 2 more hotkeys, and you'll be stronger and stronger.
And would you say that hotkeys are more important than decision making, or is that a hard one to answer?
No. Decision making still really, because I played without hotkeys, and I still was 2K2 on HD version.
Okay, 2K2 without hotkeys.
Yeah, without with on the mouse. Yeah, I have only one hotkey. Was idle villager on space. Only one hotkey, and others I do with mouse. So you can play decent, but you are limited. Without hotkeys, you are kind of limited.
Okay.
You can't multitask.
And apart from hotkeys, what would you say was the most important thing for you to learn in order to become a better player?
Yeah. You know, you need to know how to defend. I don't know how to defend. So you need to like watch pro players and not just watch like they go paladins. You need to like watch how exactly they use resources
Mm,
and trying to copy them, like what habits they has. They spend a lot of resources. So yeah, spend all of your resources.
mm.
This is very important, really.
So you would also say that your skill level is also very dependent on the fact that you can copy and mirror very well from better players, or how do I take this?
Uh, so you should copy only some specific things. Like, okay, just let's like have monastery and heal something. Let's wall these gold miners because he have some scouts.
Mm,
Not copy. You can't copy everything because so many situations is in a different pairs.
mm.
You should adapt still. Adapting is really so no a nomad is really helped me to adapt in different situations.
Okay, so I think playing Nomad is a very good thing to train your skill set, basically.
Mm. Yeah, I believe, yeah.
Okay. And when you have pro players like MBL or the Viper or Teto that you've just mentioned, um, how much percent do you think is talent and how much percent is experience and hard work to become that good?
Well, how many percent? Well, I believe you can like everyone can reach 2K3, something like that, like top 50 players in the world with just playing a lot, like MBL did in the past. He played like, I don't know, the most maybe.
Okay,
But yeah, talent is like push you even farther.
okay.
It's still like hard working and well playing a lot. Experience is way more
So,
important.
so, so you think if I was playing like 5 hours every day for the next 5 years,
Yeah.
where do
How
you
many how
think
many
I
years?
for
How
five
many years?
years, 5 years,
Five. Okay.
5 hours every day for the next 5 years? Where do you think I could realistically be in that time?
Like you should be 2K plus.
Okay.
But yeah, I will say 2K2, like 2K2 at least. And then it depends, really it depends on how you play these 5 hours. You just play and repeat every time that you and or you learning from every game. You analyze your
Mm,
replays and trying to be better, trying to fix your problems,
okay.
fix your mistakes. And also some talented, some speed. Yeah, some guys have more speed, some no.
Mm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always a little bit difficult to tell how far you can go because when you play with people like Olivier, I've already told you about some of the things that he does. I don't think he can be better than 1300, but I think I can push him to 1300. And yeah, we have 3 people basically teaching him. And when we first met him, as I said, he was at 850. So now he's at 1200. So I think we already have taught him some skills in that time. But to be honest, I think an HD version I can uh, realistically reach 1750 and
Yeah, why
maybe
not?
up to 1800, maybe. But I think 1750 is pretty realistic to reach within the next year, maybe. But I think like 2K2 or 2K3, what you've just said, where you said, yeah, everybody can beat 2K2.
Well, if you play like every day 5 hours and for 5 years, well, it's enough. You'll have enough experience anyway. Well, maybe not. Well, I know players that play a lot and not even 2K.
mm,
So yeah, not everyone. Yeah, but
I think I cannot reach that point because what I think what would happen is that
but
I know in general what I'm doing wrong, but I'm still making some small mistakes, and also some mistakes where I don't notice that I'm making a mistake. And I think that some things I just couldn't do in a certain speed also, because as you said, it's also APM. Like when you're having 300 actions per minute, for instance, it's a completely different microing than what new players do. And I think there's always realistic caption of Elo. And yeah, I think 1750 or 1800 is realistic with more experience and some more better strategies. But I don't think that every human is capable of analyzing his mistakes or their mistakes well enough to to actually push on and on. You know what I mean? I think some people and I'm one of these. We get tunnel vision,
Yeah.
and when we're making
Me
the same
also.
mistakes again and again, and I think at a certain point, when you have done something for 50 times with the same strategy or with the same approach, I think if you've done something wrong for 50 times or more often, you're also getting blind for what you're doing wrong there. And I think without external help and people coaching you and telling you this and this is bad and you have to improve on this and that, it's very hard to push on, because that's also why I like to do this coaching with you. Because for the last 3 months or so, I simply couldn't push my elo anymore. It was like stuck in a rut, basically, because it's always the same kind of games on Black Forest or on Nomad, and on HD version there are much less players, so I'm also playing against the same people again and again. And when it's always the same kind of game and always the same people that you're playing, yeah, it's like getting extreme tunnel vision and just not improving there. And yeah, I think that's the problem with many people here, because there are people that have like 3,000, 4,000 plus hours experience, and we haven't improved for like a year or so, because I also know some players here on HD version, and we've played with me when I just started the game, and of course we bet me back then because we had so much experience. And then half a year later, I played versus them, and I won since then, because yeah, we simply didn't improve. I see a lot of these players, and they're getting experience and experience, but they're just not getting better because they're doing things again and again in exactly the same way. And yeah, as you can imagine, if you're just playing your routine and not working on, what could I do better next time? Of course, you're not getting better there.
Yeah, also if you just play one map and kind of the same thief, the same approach, so you will uh learn
Mm-hmm.
very slow. So yeah, you need to push your like trying some maps, some thieves, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was also stuck. Yeah, I remember. I was stuck on
Okay,
this thing
at
before.
which elo? Elo?
I believe like I was stuck in for a long time on 90 plus HD version.
Okay.
Maybe I played for 2 years like this without hotkeys. I just played tons of games and nothing really changed. Then
Mm-hmm.
I started to watch more pro players and yeah, just watch
Okay.
more players, tournaments, and maybe I was also stuck in a D version on 16, 17. Yeah.
Okay, so basically
So
the elo that I now have, you also got stuck in for some time.
well, kinda, yes. Yeah,
Mm.
kinda, yes. But it's hard to say because I don't really play on ladder now. So I believe I can reach 2K if I just play without stream now.
Mm.
I can reach 2K at least, I think. But yeah, I just don't play ladder a lot now. Only on stream, and I'm doing some well, really, really stupid strategies.
Mm.
That's it. And it's versus basically 2K players that yeah, kind of hard to pull off these strategies, but it's interesting. So yeah, maybe well, yeah. Sometimes you still have like well, I feel like I can push myself farther, like
Mhm.
at least to K1, I believe.
Mhm. Can I ask you a last question before ending
Yeah.
this video? So I was talking with Django 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he made a very clear statement. And he said, if you can play Arabia, you can play any map. So what's your take on that?
Uh, almost like almost you can play most of the maps, I would say, but not all. So,
Okay.
for example, on Iceland, you still need to know what's going on Iceland, how to play. And Nomad also. Well, if you play Arabia, you could play, for example, Hideout.
Mhm.
Well, maybe even Arena, but it's not. But you can still play like Black Forest or well, some open maps. Like you can play well just with some army and economy, right? Trying to
Mhm.
balance between army and economy. You can play a lot of maps, but not all.
Okay. I also got another question, that's just a short one that's coming into my mind when we're talking about Arabia. And that is, I've seen that around 2/3 of the online games versus humans are Arabia maps. But there are so many maps like Black Forest, which is also very known and loved amongst players. Arena, Scandinavia, whatever. I think in total there are like 50 maps or something like that.
Yeah.
Why would you say that 2/3 of the games are Arabia games?
Historically, this is well because you can play with units. It's open. The exploration is really important here. It's hard
Mhm.
to say. It's just the historical things that Arabia is just about skills. Also, yeah, also, and this is because you can play with any thief on Arabia.
Mhm.
So there is no civilians on Arabia, right? I believe. Well,
There's no
only
what?
few.
No what?
The civilizations wins.
Mhm.
So you can play with any civilization versus uh, any another civilization.
Mhm.
So whatever.
And also, I also got one last question. I've read a comment where someone was writing that the Spanish are actually the best civ for Nomad.
Yeah,
Uh,
kind of.
but why is that actually? Because
Why?
you
Because
said Pygmalions in the last video.
yeah, I said that Malians and Persians is two the best tips for like uh, to get your economy going,
Mhm.
fast fish, and mm, they can have the most population in Dark Age. Like no one can beat them. But Spanish with conquistadors and castle drop, that this is like second option, second really easy option also because they place TC faster, they build TC faster,
Mhm.
dock faster, everything faster. You just ignore water, kinda just make 6 fishing ships, then lose water,
Okay.
and just go castle edge and castle drop. You
Um,
can castle drop on opponent phase, like, and no one can stop you because they build castle also faster. And then
mhm.
conquistador, how to counter conquistadors?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Maybe with mass skirmishers, but when they are cavalry, so they can also run away basically. Yeah, but conquistadors are
Well,
hard to counter. They're pretty good actually. Mm.
yeah, really. So Spanish is kind. When I I like Nomad, and I try to play Nomad to like my home map. Yeah.
Mhm.
If I pick Nomad, then I try to ban Spanish, so no one can uh, just do this with Spanish, and I try to play with Malians. And okay, if they pick persons, okay, I can beat persons with Malians. But killing Spanish is really hard.
Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes but you can, but yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you maybe want to say in this video, or do you think everything has been said so far?
Mm, I thought I wanted to something to say about Arabia again. Why
Okay.
is this so popular? Well, because yeah, on Arabia you can play on play on every like every age, right? On Dark Age, Dark Rush, some Laymin. So there is so many options. The Tower Rush, Mount Crash, whatever. You can full feudal, castle drop, Mount Crash. Yeah, you can play so many strategies here. This is why it's kind of popular. Raiding, yeah. On Arena, for example, you kind of you only need to wait until Castle Age, yeah. So
Okay, and then I have only one last question, but it's not about Age of Empires or something like, or some game strategies or some experts or anything like that. The last question is just for next time. What would you like to do? Would you like to do some more analysis videos, or do you want to make build order, or do you want to make army composition? I don't know. What's your idea for the next game where you think, or for the next video where you think you could help me most with?
yeah, I believe we can focus on build order, some build order. And for example, you can try it, I'll say what you should do, yeah. And yeah, maybe I can even show how would I do it, yeah. And you will see, well, maybe some tricks.
Okay, so next time you want to play and I just watch you, basically?
No. I just wanted, yeah, you can still try build order to make build order yourself, but I can show, yeah, just one time, like 5-10 minutes for Dark Age.
Okay,
and then you can repeat kinda, and yeah, one build order, for example, I believe Scout Rush is the easiest build order, but it's kinda hard to control. Well, scouts. I believe Man at Arms plus Archers is the best build order for new players. Like Man at Arms.
You mean both at the same time or both build orders?
No, it's one build order. Yeah, at the same time, kinda. So first 3 Man Arms and then drop archer range and archers forward, kinda. Well, maybe it's not the easiest. Nah, it's still not hard build order.
Okay, and I think it would be interesting to go on with Nomad next time. Because Black Forest, I mean, it's basically always the same. You wall up and then you boom. Yeah. And I think I just have to rewatch the other booming videos that we already made. I think it would be more interesting to make Nomad because you also said in the last video that Nomad is much more complex and there are so many things that you can tell me about it. Yeah. So I think maybe next time we're also doing Nomad and trying to get some different features.
Nomad build order, for example. Yeah. So there is 2 types of Nomad build orders, like fast feudal to water aggression, to win water, and then from there go in Castle Age and Knights, for example. Or just straight fast castle into castle drop, for example. So 2 types of build order. Or Nomad.
Okay.
Two most important, two most popular.
Good. Yeah. Then that's it about from my side. It's actually taking a lot longer than I expected or as we planned, but it's all okay. You can write down the number of hours that we are always doing, and yeah, I will of course pay for it. If it goes longer, I simply pay more for the session. I mean, that's of course clear. Yeah, so thank you for having you here and helping me getting better on Nomad and analyzing my games and giving us some feedback and some advice on getting better. Yeah, and it will be awesome to see you again maybe next week or the week after it. I don't know when you have time, but I only have to work again next week, and after that I am on holidays. So from the 19th of December, it's all holidays, and I only have to return to work on the 4th of January. So basically from here on, from this Saturday until here, it's all 3 days for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you have time in there, we can always make a session. It's no problem then. Yeah, but
Okay,
we will see about that. Yeah, and I thank you again, Oladu Sheikh, for helping me out because it's really awesome of you.
Well,
yeah, and I hope that soon I will be a 1750 in HD version because that was my goal. Like, oh, I'm doing some coaching with Oladu Sheikh now. I want to boost my elo by 150 points, and
I hope so.
Maybe we can get me there. I do my best to get there. I think it's realistic in the end.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, and thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I hope you found the video interesting to get some pro player feedback on some strategies or some noob situations here. I hope you could take some valuable information from it and learn something from it. And yeah, overall, thanks again for watching. It would be nice if you give me a thumb up and put maybe a comment in the comment section what you think about this video or also this kind of format to ask questions about the game to a pro player or semi-pro player, as Oladu Sheikh calls himself. And yeah, if that was interesting for you, you can also check out my channel. We're doing a lot of other stuff with Age of Empires. And when I say we, I mean basically me and my friends who are doing TeamSpeak games. So if that's interesting for you, you can have a look. And yeah, maybe you can take something from it. And if you do, feel free to subscribe to us to not miss out a video. And yeah, thank you to you guys for watching. And thank you to you, Oladu Sheikh, for teaching me. And maybe we will see each other again in the future with new and more content. So yeah, that would be awesome. And I hope to see you soon again.
Yeah, it was fun to check SD games.
Okay.
Good memories.
Awesome. Okay, goodbye and
GG.
see you. GG. Yeah, of course, GG.